The blue light of my phone was a surgical strike against the darkness of the bedroom. 3:03 a.m., the notification didn't chime. It didn't vibrate. It simply appeared. A white ghost on the lock screen. Package delivered. I stared at it until the pixels burned into my retinas. I hadn't ordered anything. I'm a minimalist by necessity and a recluse by choice. My bank statements are a desert of rent payments and grocery tallies. Yet there it was. I slid out of bed. The floorboards cold enough to feel like wet stone. I didn't turn on the lights. In a house this quiet, light feels like an invitation. And I wasn't feeling hospitable. I crept to the window and peeled back the edge of the curtain. The street was a void. No delivery truck, no idling engine, no retreating taillights. The neighborhood was a graveyard of suburban silence. But there, dead center on my porch, sat a crate. It was large, maybe 3 feet cubed, made of a wood so pale it looked like bone. It shouldn't have been there. It hadn't been there 2 minutes ago when I'd looked out to check the rain. I moved to the front door, my heart performing a frantic, syncopated rhythm against my ribs. I didn't reach for the light switch. I reached for the peephole. The fisheye lens distorted the world, stretching the porch into a long, curved horizon. The crate sat there, shimmering under the pale moon. It wasn't nailed shut. It was wrapped in chains, thick, rusted links that looked like they'd been pulled from a shipwreck. They were cinched so tight they bit into the wood. Then, the first sign of wrongness shifted into a second. A dark, viscous liquid began to seep from the bottom of the crate. It didn't flow like water. It spread like a bruise, soaking into the fibers of my welcome mat with an agonizing slowness. It was too dark to be oil, too thick to be wine. My hand hovered over the deadbolt. My skin felt electric, the hair on my arm standing up. Thump. The door vibrated against my forehead. It wasn't a knock. A knock has intent, a rhythm. This was a heavy, wet shift of weight. Something inside that box had just moved, pressing itself against the wood, and by extension against my door. Thump, it was closer now. Then came the sound that made my stomach drop into a cold abyss. It was a scratching, slow, methodical, the sound of something, sharp fingernails, or perhaps something more primal, dragging slowly down the inside of the crate. Scree. I fumbled for my phone, my fingers slick with sweat. I opened the app for my doorbell camera. The screen flickered to life, showing the high-definition infrared view of my porch.